This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Welcome in. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins.
For the first time, Cathedral High School addresses its students about the firing of a teacher in a same-sex marriage.
And new details are coming in about the controversial situation. We begin with RTV6's Cameron Riddle, live outside the Archdiocese office in downtown Indianapolis. Cameron, what are you finding out tonight?
Well, good evening. First off, Cathedral School officials asked us to not be on the property as students arrived there today to hear for the very first time why administrators say they had to let go of a teacher both current and former students call family. RTV6 was at the school as students spent 2 hours asking questions and listening to explanations from school leaders. Neither the media nor parents were allowed inside of today's meeting. Outside, one parent I talked to said she wanted to go to that meeting and express her outrage for how the now fired teacher was treated. As that meeting wrapped up, I talked off camera with students who said they now have a better understanding of why the school says it was forced to fire one of its own. One student said it seemed as if the school was backed into a corner by the Archdiocese, which threatened to revoke the school's official Catholic status and its financial support. Coming up at 6, we will explain the Catholic Church's chain of command, and we'll also tell you what new information we learned from the Cathedral teacher's attorney. Live in Indianapolis, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Cameron, thank you. And continuing coverage here, leaders of the Cathedral Alumni Association sent this letter out criticizing the school for its decision to fire the teacher. The letter was signed by 8 members of the association's board. It says their vision of Cathedral is one of, quote, love, diversity, and inclusion. It's asking other alumni to fight for change at the school. The alumni say they will also hold a prayer circle Thursday downtown.
Moving to your Storm Team 6 forecast, how about this? Nothing but sunshine across central Indiana.
Say that one more time.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Sunshine. It is so nice to see it today. And as you can see from the RTV6 Tower Cam, it's all there. And it's a welcome sight after all of the rain and severe weather we've dealt with recently.
Yeah, if you needed to see it to believe it, it's happening.
It is literally a breath of fresh air.
And so the fresh air today is there too because the humidity's down. That will climb over the next few days. Very summer-like forecast on the way, but enjoy this. The breeze is southwest at 16. Lots of blue sky. Any clouds you may see will fade away here as we go through the evening hours. The sun sets at 9:17. We've established it's dry and comfortable in central Indiana. You go to the north, there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for South Bend area into lower Michigan. Thunderstorms will be crossing then Lake Michigan and developing in northern portions of Illinois and may scrape northern Indiana later this evening and overnight. Temperatures all consistently about average for this time of year. The breeze out of the southwest eventually brings back more oppressive humidity, but not until later in the week. Between now and 10 o'clock tonight, temperature drops about 10 degrees. Skies stay clear, nice little breeze, and the humidity is comfortable.
A leaning power line has a woman nervous that it will fall on her car or her home or seriously hurt someone else. RTV6's Stephanie Wade is stepping in to help and figuring out who is responsible tonight.
You can tell by how I'm standing up straight. This pole is clearly leaning. A woman says it all started when a tree branch fell on top of this power line. Grace Dybel says it was this tree branch that snapped and fell on top of a power line behind her home. For 2 weeks, this pole has been leaning like this, and the weather makes it worse. You see, when the tree fell and hit the line, it created a hole around the pole. So when it rains, the hole widens and the pole leans further and further. She says she's reported it to Indianapolis Power and Light several times, but hasn't gotten much of a response back.
I just want to know if it's safe. That's all, or if it's going to be fixed. Like, I just want reassurance that we're allowed to park our car back here and nothing bad's going to happen.
I called IPL today and crews came out to investigate. What they have to say coming up at 6. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
If you have safety concerns in your own neighborhood and they're not getting addressed, let us know. Contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill will likely have at least one challenger for the Republican nomination in 2020. Indianapolis Attorney John Westerkamp says he plans to formally announce a run for state attorney general this coming Thursday. Westerkamp would need to win the endorsement of delegates at next year's Republican state convention to become the nominee. Hill is in the middle of a controversy after he was accused of groping a state lawmaker and 3 legislative assistants at a party last year. The 4 women have filed a federal discrimination lawsuit against Hill. He has denied the allegations.
New information tonight. The Girl Scout killed when a tree fell at a southern Indiana camp has been identified. The Perry County Sheriff says 11-year-old Isabel Meyer was pronounced dead at an Evansville hospital after a tree fell on her at Camp Cook in Cannelton, Indiana, Monday morning. Investigators say it was raining when they arrived at the scene, but it wasn't a serious storm. The tree hurt 3 other people at the camp. This evening, the sheriff spoke about the incident.
Was there anything that you found that they were doing at that time that may have been unsafe? At that specific moment?
I don't want to speculate that. You know, these are Girl Scouts. Sorry. They were there to have a good time. But no, speculation, were they doing anything wrong? No.
Perry County Sheriff Alan Malone says he's not certain why the 40-foot tall tree suddenly toppled, but that the ground was saturated from recent rainfall.
And tonight, a 14-year-old boy is in the hospital after he fell about 50 feet down a cliff at the Hoosier National Forest last night. Indiana Department of Natural Resource officers rushed to South Hatfield Road in Crawford County around 11:30 last night for a report of a missing kid. Conservation officers say they determined the teen left the area on his ATV and had possibly traveled to the Hoosier National Forest to explore caves. While searching the area near Messmore Cliffs around 1 this morning, first responders found that the teen had fallen about 50 feet from the cliffs. DNR says the teen was hypothermic and suffered broken bones, lower back, head, and leg injuries. Still ahead at 5:30, more advanced safety features in cars are becoming standard, but we're finding there are mixed reviews about how the technology now works.
Up next here at 5, Indiana Senator Mike Braun says he will vote against the latest defense spending bill. We find out why.
And one father's greatest fear turns into a video game to help teens across the country learn to drive. And you can get the game too.
And we're still in search of our first 90-degree temperature of 2019. And due to the southwest, you can see where the warmth is building. St. Louis at 90. How long will we wait? Coming up.
Tune up for only $89. For on time.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 5. U.S. Senator Mike Braun of Indiana says defense is the #1 priority of the federal government, but he will be voting against the latest defense spending budget bill. The bill, called the National Defense Authorization Act, directs how $750 billion will be spent by the U.S. Department of Defense. So why is Braun voting against it? Well, he says the country isn't living within its means and said the budget deficits are simply too high.
Defense is part of the federal government, and even though I think it's important and I think we need raises for our troops and the people that put their lives on the line, if we keep defending things that are our favorite projects without taking it into the entirety, we're not going to turn around trillion-dollar deficits.
Braun's vote will likely be symbolic. The defense spending bill has passed Congress every year for decades, with only a handful of lawmakers voting against it. Indiana Senator Todd Young says he supports the defense bill.
New developments in the situation between the United States and Iran. Tonight on Twitter, President Trump is threatening Iran with, quote, overwhelming force and potential obliteration. And today, Iran called newly imposed economic sanctions against their supreme leader, quote, outrageous and idiotic. We need to get to ABC's Elizabeth Herr, who is following every new development for us.
President Trump striking back against Iran with threats on Twitter, writing, any attack by Iran on anything American will be met with great and overwhelming force. In some areas, overwhelming will mean obliteration. This in response to Iranian President Hassan Rouhani insulting the White House, saying the White House is afflicted by mental retardation and does not know what to do. And another Iranian official tweeting the new U.S. sanctions mean a permanent closure of diplomacy with the desperate desperate government of America. Earlier, speaking from Israel, National Security Advisor John Bolton stressed while the U.S. is open to talks, the president's position could change should Iran violate the 2015 nuclear deal by exceeding the limits of its nuclear fuel.
Well, I think the president would say that all options remain on the table.
Tensions have been rising since President Trump pulled the U.S. out of that international accord last year. On Monday, President Trump signed off on new U.S. sanctions designed to lock up billions of dollars in assets of top Iranian officials, citing a series of recent provocative actions by Iran. And this afternoon, the president standing firm, there is still no need for an exit strategy.
When they're ready, they'll let us know. Very simple. Doesn't make any difference. Whatever they want to do, I'm ready.
All of this is happening with Acting Defense Secretary Mark Esper now in Brussels, telling our NATO allies the U.S. does not want to go to war with Iran. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
And we are now learning more about the timeline for renovations at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, a project that is expected to keep the Pacers in Indy for the next 25 years. Pacers Sports and Entertainment tells us construction will happen primarily during the summers of 2020 and 2021. There will also be a 60-day shutdown in the summer of 2022. That work will result in major changes. The seating will be reworked, allowing for more public areas inside Bankers Life for events. Outside, there will be a outdoor gathering space on the north side of the arena along Maryland Street. There are also plans for an outdoor ice skating rink. This will not impact any Pacers season or the 2021 NBA All-Star Game, but the Fever will need to find a new facility to play in for the 2020, 2021, and part of the 2022 season.
10 years ago today, Michael Jackson, the king of pop, unexpectedly died, but his legendary career and work lives on. Michael Jackson is known for this iconic song and music video Thriller. He's also credited with revolutionizing the moonwalk, but Jackson's estate has tried to protect his legacy this year after two men accused Jackson of molesting them as boys in the HBO documentary Leaving Neverland. This sparked new scrutiny of years-old claims that Jackson preyed on children. But today, fans and mourners gathered to remember Jackson outside of his mausoleum at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. On Friday, our colleague Derek Thomas is signing off from RTV6 after more than 40 years of sharing his gift of storytelling with Central Indiana. And tonight at 6, we share one of Derek's classic stories from 1979. That's when he sat down to interview the Jackson 5 at the height of their popularity. Don't miss this incredible look back at Derek's career and one of the more interesting stories that you will see, and that's tonight at 6 o'clock. Can't wait for that one. There are 2 million new drivers joining us in traffic every year, and one of the top reasons for teen crashes is inexperience. So one dad set out to change that, and he's using video games to do it.
So working for you, we show you how this game works and how you can get your hands on it. Driving, it's a rite of passage, and it's one of the most dangerous things your kid will learn to do.
Yeah, and yet there's only so much one can prepare for them. The wheels really started turning for Bob Davis when he narrowly avoided a crash himself.
At that moment, I was immediately going to my 14-year-old son thinking, if he did this wrong, he could have just died.
Enter the simulators for driver's ed courses. It exposes teens to all sorts of scenarios and familiarizes them with the rules of the road.
It will throw an animal in front of you in the road sometimes. Which lane am I supposed to be in? Which lane am I supposed to turn into and taking a left or taking a right? Yes, I do think it helps.
Now, any kid with an Xbox or a regular controller can download the Driving Essentials XE program. Instead of rewarding risk, these games give points to encourage good habits like checking mirrors and ignoring distraction on the road.
Driving Essentials XE is $39 through Microsoft for an Xbox. They're working on adapting for PlayStation 4. And a change if you plan to go to any Colts games this upcoming season. For the first time, kids 2 years and younger will get into Colts games for free. They will not need a ticket. The team says this will make it a bit cheaper for young families and allow parents to create memories with their children.
So that story about driving gave me a flashback to driver's ed. We had simulators back in the early 80s.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember this IPDE principle, they call it: identify, predict, decide, and execute.
And it stuck with you. Can you remember it today? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? The professional drivers, too, that we see on the IndyCar track, they'll use simulators themselves.
Right.
So
Mark, I'm going to do the weather, but tell her I'm a professional driver. I'm very good.
Driving this forecast right now. All right, thanks.
All aboard. All right, this is a daylily. I have an app that identifies flowers, and it confirmed it for me. Daylily, open to the sunshine. You got to love that. And Amanda just tried to get a picture of it. It's too late. Wednesday, Thursday, on through the weekend, our chance for rain is there, but it's very low. I just want to drive this point home. We're talking about temperatures coming up and rain chances going down. We're not eliminating. We're not saying there's no chance for rain, but it's very low, and you should be able to just go about your activities. 84 in Kokomo, that's a current temperature. Humidity is comfortable everywhere in central Indiana. 86 in Bedford, that's one of the warm spots. We'll all be consistently in the upper 80s for several days in the 7-day forecast. Say hello to Pearl and Bart. Tracy Smith sent in this picture, and I've got a dynamic duo.
They actually match their names, really. Pearl and Bart.
And I like they're looking at us right now. And the snowflake blanket there, we don't need that for a while. Temperatures in the 70s as we get closer to sunset, and it will be comfortable. To send in your dog's pick to kevin.gregory@WRTV.com, and I'd be happy to take them for a walk during my evening forecast. To the north, the chance for a thunderstorm coming out of Iowa. If these hold together, Lafayette, Peru on north during the overnight hours may have a shower or thunderstorm. During the day tomorrow, temperatures warmer than we are today by a handful of degrees. The breeze out of the southwest at 10. Any chance for thunderstorms really starts to fire up probably after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. TrueCast confirms that. Not much happening first half of the day. When the temperatures warm up after 4 o'clock, there we go. Isolated showers and thunderstorms to the north. That's why we put in a 30% chance for thunderstorms. Thursday temperatures a little warmer, rain chances lower, 20% or less. Temperature moves closer to the 90-degree mark. September 20th of last year is the last time that our temperature hit 90 degrees. And you see, we'll be very close to it on a daily basis going through the 7-day forecast. Chance for thunderstorms 30% Friday. Chance for thunderstorms over the weekend very low. Humidity comes up, and that will drive our feels like temperature or the heat index into the mid-90s.
Ooh, get ready for that.
A bit steamy.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
You have a few more weeks to figure out your weather invention, Kevin.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. Yes. All right. I know what you're talking about. It's a new thermometer, by the way.
It's coming. Hey, have you ever wanted to pitch an idea on Shark Tank? Now is your chance.
The hit RTV6 show will make their last casting stop of the season at Indianapolis Motor Speedway next month. The open casting call will happen July 16th, Kevin. That's when you can pitch your idea to Shark Tank producers during their first ever visit to Indiana.
You should fill out an online application and bring it to the open call. The doors open at 6 a.m. on July 16th. You can find out more on the RTV6 app. Just click on this story. A toddler falls into a pool and his dad jumps into action. The incident all caught on camera and the father's urgent warning. That's next here on RTV6 News at 5.
Keller and Keller.
This is RTV6 News at 5. A crazy situation unfolded during the capital murder trial of a man accused of killing a nanny, a man who could face the death penalty if convicted.
Our Scripps team at Court TV is following what's happening there. We're going to get right to Julie Grant.
A very good day to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV, and we continue our coverage of a capital murder trial out of Orlando, Florida. And it was a crazy day today. The courthouse where Scott Edward Nelson is charged with first-degree murder for allegedly kidnapping a nanny in a Florida neighborhood was on lockdown. There was a blackout. The judge, the jury, the defendant, the victim's family were all stuck inside of the courtroom together, along with some of our own Court TV reporters. And then just when everything settled down, there was a smell of smoke. Deputies called, investigated the cause. The fire department came. The judge went back on the record. We will continue updating you on this trial throughout the day here on Court TV. The victim in this case is Jennifer Lynn Fulford. She was brutally killed. Prosecutors are wrapping up their case against Scott Nelson, and his life hangs in the balance. No word yet on whether the defense will choose to present a case. We'll bring you gavel-to-gavel coverage of this compelling criminal trial right here on Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Julie, thank you for that report. And don't forget, you can stream Court TV 24/7 at courttv.com. And tonight, a story about a father's heroic act to save his own son.
It's a video that he hopes can be a lesson for parents when it comes to kids hanging around pools. Rocco is only a year and a half old, but he is curious, fast, and he has an eye for this inflatable ball there. Look at that. It was a normal Sunday afternoon in Florida. Mom and daughter lounging in the water, dad and uncle in the shade, all of them good swimmers and paying attention.
And here comes Rocco through the open pool gate, headed for that ball, captured on the Nest camera over the pool area. Rocco walks along the pool's edge trying to grab that ball. He falls in, and his dad jumps up from his chair, sprints towards the pool, leaps headfirst over the pool fence and into the water to rescue his kid.
The second you see it, I mean, you get Superman strength and just have to go for it, you know, whatever you got to do.
Rocco's dad says he would never let a 4-foot fence get in the way of saving his son, but he will make sure in the future the fence gets in the way of his son falling into the pool. So experts say if you're jumping in after your kids, you should bring a flotation device so you don't go underneath the water yourself. Wow. All new at 6 p.m. here. It's a new effort to get kids to school with the resources at hand. How this new idea will put public transportation to the test.
But first on the Now, Indy, it's summer. That means it's mosquito season, and those insects can carry diseases. Working for you, what you can do to make your yard as mosquito-free as possible. You're watching RTV6 News at 5. We'll be right back with the Now, Indy.